Freedom of speech is the right to articulate one's opinions and ideas without fear of government retaliation or censorship or societal sanction. The concept of free speech has existed since at least the 5th century in Rome and ancient Greece, and is widely recognized as a basic human right and one of the central pillars of free society. In a system of government by and for the people, the foundation of democracy, it is vital that the people be able to speak freely. Ideas must be thoroughly discussed, challenged, tested, and double-checked before they become societal norms. This is best done by open discussion at every level, from governmental and legal to friends in the pub. Open dialogue allows harmful ideas to be opposed and discredited. It provides an escape for those trapped in regressive, insular groups such as religions and cults, whose existence depends on controlling the ideas their members are exposed to. Freedom of the press is another aspect of this. The media's ability to challenge authority and hold it accountable to the people it is supposed to represent is essential to preventing corruption. News media has been vital in opposing oppressive regimes throughout modern history. In recent years, there have been many groups that oppose free speech, some in a moderate way, and some in a more overall sense. One startling example of this has been academic institutions. Universities have become increasingly fond of banning speakers, news sources, and even forms of expression such as fancy dress. Restrictive codes of conduct are also being put in place which demonize certain words or ideas. Another worrying example is the mainstream media, which has often apparently avoided any speakers with opinions that differ from the current norm. Discussions of religion, sexuality, race, politics, or anything else that could be considered objectionable is stifled, ignored, and decried as bigoted and dangerous. Strangely, this has been coming from supposedly progressive media sources.
Struggle to explain the intelligent military actions of the arachnids.
When a colony reaches a certain size, 300 generations or something, it gets smarter.
Insects with intelligence? Have you ever met one? I can't believe I am hearing this nonsense.
You just
this
wait
is the most
a
ridiculous
moment.
conversation I have ever had.
Maybe there is some kind of bug that we haven't seen yet. A leadership caste, a hive brain.
Brain bugs? Frankly, I find the idea of a bug that thinks offensive.
The use of offence to shut down discussion is becoming more and more common. Certain groups have worked to make words and ideas that oppose them dangerous to express. This usually comes in the form of social ostracism, but sometimes also legal and even physical attacks. Those with dissenting viewpoints have taken to concealing their identities behind pseudonyms and avatars for their own safety. Saying an idea is offensive is not an argument. It is used to close down a conversation before it starts and to avoid having one's worldview challenged. It is a very cult-like tactic, similar to how Scientology would use any means to discredit those that left its fold to prevent damage to the cult. Any restriction to free speech and expression must be opposed. Without open discussion and argument, oppressive regimes and ideologies can easily take hold of society, and once they have, it may take generations to remove them again. To quote Christopher Hitchens,
"It's not just the right of the person who speaks to be heard. It is the right of everyone in the audience to listen and to hear. And every time you silence somebody, you make yourself a prisoner of your own action because you deny yourself the right to hear something. In other words, your own right to hear and be exposed is as much involved in all these cases as is the right of the other to voice his or her view. Indeed, as John Stuart Mill said, if all in society were agreed on the truth and beauty and value of one proposition, all except one person, it would be most important, in fact it would become even more important, that that one heretic be heard, because we would still benefit from his perhaps outrageous or appalling view. In more modern times, this has been put, I think, best by a personal heroine of mine, Rosa Luxemburg, who said that the freedom of speech is meaningless unless it means the freedom of the person who thinks differently.
To put it another way, once offence becomes illegal, discussion becomes impossible. Thanks for watching.